Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV. Welcome back to the show, everyone. So, look, I want to talk a little bit more about the Caravan. Let me just say, I hate talking about this topic because I know that on one level or another, no matter how many caveats I give, no matter how much I attempt to actually shed light on the real lived experience in real time of the people in it, to some extent I am helping the right because they want to talk about this, because the Caravan simply existing and a little bit of media attention being on it for some reason benefits them, because we are an incredibly xenophobic people and they have been able to ride that to great electoral success. So I have resisted talking about this. I hate talking about it, even though we should of course be talking about it, because we as humans should use this as an opportunity to acknowledge that not only are the lives of these 7,000 or so people obviously in a terrible state, and we should be doing whatever is necessary as a people to help them, but it is just a symptom of the greater problem in many of these countries that, by the way, we as Americans have helped to contribute to. Perhaps not on an individual level, but certainly in terms of our government policy. Economically, in terms of the drug war, militarily, we have helped to destabilize many of these countries in the same way that we have the Middle East. And in the same way as in the Middle East, when suddenly, after decades of exploiting and destabilizing these countries, taking down their governments, replacing them with military unstable regimes, then there's insecurity and instability and people want to leave. And we act shocked and chagrined at what we have wrought, while not acknowledging that we had a hand in rotting it in the first place. We are so amazingly ahistorical as a people that we go around the world just knocking things over, and then we look out our window at it and we just say, that doesn't look very good. We call them S-hole countries and things like that. That is what we do. And so it puts us in the media in a terrible position where I want to talk about the conditions in Honduras and El Salvador and talk about why there is so much violence, why some of these places are the murder capitals of the world, why you have these caravans and what we can do as people to help them out. And in so doing, I have to help the right maintain their hold on power potentially. So that's amazing. But understand that the lies that Donald Trump is saying about the Caravan, they're not just about what's going on in Mexico and down in Central America. He's telling lies, again, easily verifiable or debunkable lies about what's going on here in California as well. He said, take a look. They want to get out of sanctuary cities. Many places in California want to get out of sanctuary cities. A reporter asked, where are the riots that he's talking about? Where have they actually happened? He says, yeah, it's rioting in some cases. So look, when he says that in this Caravan, there are unknown Middle Eastern terrorists, I understand that a random person living in Ohio can't really check that directly. They should know that there's media that they can trust to say whether that's true or not, or at least look into it. But he is saying there are riots going on in sanctuary cities in the US. And in particular, in previous instances where he said that, he said specifically in California. It is so easy to know whether that is true or not, and he is relying on the actual lack of interest on the part of his supporters who will hear that and get riled up about it. Get riled up but not actually care to know whether it's true or not. He is relying on that complete lack of interest. And it's amazing, it's an amazing thing when you know that you have people who will get so fired up that they will go out and vote based on this, but don't care even the slightest to find out if what's riling them up is actually true. That is a weird psychological state to know that your supporters live in on a daily basis. Are there riots in sanctuary cities? No, there are not riots in sanctuary cities. Reporters living in North California have said that it's not happening. Down in Southern California saying that it's not happening. I live actually in Southern California, and I can tell you that if the riots are happening, they're not happening in any parts of the LA that I am driving around on a daily basis. But again, if I could bring this back to the elections, Donald Trump is such a blatant and flagrant liar. It's honestly, I think it's getting worse. And it's difficult to make that claim because how do you actually quantify the sheer, not just the number of lies. I know that PolitiFact tries to do that. But how fact-free they've become. And again, speaking as a member of the media, I understand at this point, I have been through this cycle several thousand times. He says there's riots in sanctuary cities. I say that is a lie. There's no evidence of that. And it doesn't matter. There's this claim that goes around that good, honest facts will beat out lies every time. We just need more speech, all of that. And that is a great philosophy. I love that. I wish that that was true. But I don't see any evidence of it. This is a great instance. This is the most easy to knock down lie that he has told this week, I'll say at least. I don't want to go too far. And none of his supporters will call him out on it. No one sitting in Tennessee or in Houston is like, well, that seems weird. I haven't actually seen that on the news. Even Fox News has no footage of that. That's weird. And yet it continues. Now the question is, will this actually not only fire up his supporters, but will it actually help them to win in the elections that are just a couple of weeks away? So Fox News wants to find out. So Steve Doocy of Fox and Friends talked with some at least self-identified independent voters about this issue, and here's what they had to say.
So what should the United States do if those 7,000 people, by the time it gets here, it could be 10,000, it could be 20,000. What should the United States do about those people?
This is the mightiest country on the planet. I think we can handle a caravan of people unarmed coming to this country.
So let them in.
And, well, I'm saying to process them properly.
Right. Okay, Kathy, real quick.
Real quick, I think that the immigration crisis that we're seeing is a result of the failure of the two Democratic parties to actually engage the issue. Instead, they use it like a partisan football.
Sure, you don't like that. John, real quick on the immigration.
There's a humanitarian crisis taking place in Central America, and yet this issue gets turned into a complete political football. There's very little honest discussion about what's actually happening. It gets turned into talking points.
And Aaron.
Yeah, treating this as an invasion is a bad idea, and it's going to end horribly if it is treated such as that way. So I think people have to realize, yeah, these are human beings coming here, and there needs to be a real solution offered in dealing with it.
Sure. Wow. That I've come out of that Fox News video feeling better than I can't tell you how long ago it was that happened specifically with Fox News content. So those are people who identify as independents. Don't simply accept that that is true. In the past, we found out later on that they were actually political strategists and things like that, so God only knows. But I have a feeling that Steve Doocy did not convene that panel so that he could showcase how moderate and understanding of this issue apparently independent voters are. But I can't say for sure. I was not involved in his production meetings. But it gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe it does for you as well. We know that there is a great deal of xenophobia in Trump's base. It's possible, maybe, that other Americans, even Americans that don't identify as progressives or liberals, might be growing a little bit more understanding on this issue. I don't want to count on that, and I don't want to spur any sort of apathy, individually issue-based or in general when it comes to these midterms, but that gives me a little bit of hope, and that is in rare supply lately. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.